After failing the college entrance examination, Chuchen could only attend a vocational college. As a hardworking father, he didn't want his son to spend his entire life in the countryside, working hard like himself. Although my father is just a farmer and has not read many books, he also knows that only knowledge can change destiny. I don't want my son to be like him, facing the yellow soil and carrying his back to the sky, working hard for a lifetime without any success. The father who loves his son does not want to accept his fate and wants his son to have a better future. Watch a college entrance exam repeater overcome setbacks at different stages of life and become the richest person step by step. Chapter 1. Failure in the college entrance examination. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Chaozhou City, Shandong Province. The ringing of ding-ling-ling echoed incessantly in the open campus. Following closely behind was treading. The dense and chaotic footsteps were heard like raindrops, and the students on campus hurriedly ran towards the classroom. After the preparation bell rang, the campus became silent again. The bell for class rang, and the students sat in the classroom waiting for the teacher's arrival. This bell is like a signal, and the classmates who were originally discussing this holiday life fiercely stopped talking like silent firecrackers. Chaozhou City, Class 3, Grade 3, Number 1 Middle School. All the students were staring at the classroom door one by one. They heard through the grapevine that the original homeroom teacher seemed to be seriously ill and going to a hospital abroad for treatment. They were shocked and they heard about it, and couldn't believe that the teacher who often joked with them in class was now infected with a disease. Their first thought was that it was impossible. The teacher's classroom is still like yesterday. At that time, they even thought about visiting the homeroom teacher, but upon inquiring, they found out that the teacher had already gone abroad. Their class has reached the 3rd year of high school, and now the most important thing is learning. And many of them here are ordinary children from ordinary families who don't have the money to go abroad to visit their teachers. They can only give up and still have some concerns about the health of the homeroom teacher. These nearly 2 years of companionship are also the deepest memories in their hearts. Their teacher Wang has been very helpful to the class in daily life and study. Now that the homeroom teacher is sick, they all want to go and see. But he knew that after the teacher went abroad, he had to call the homeroom teacher to care about his condition. Even if teacher Wang is seriously ill, he is as optimistic and cheerful as when he usually teaches his classmates. When the students in Class 3 of Grade 3 called teacher Wang, he even joked with them with a smile. You should study hard. I'll be back soon after your college entrance examination. If any naughty kid doesn't do well, don't blame me for scolding you. It was during the communication and exchange with the homeroom teacher, teacher Wang, that the students of Class 3 in high school learned an unexpected and important news. Is the homeroom teacher of their Grade 3 class this semester a new teacher or a recent college graduate from Tsinghua University? That's a student from Tsinghua University. Some of the students in their class may be able to get into Tsinghua University, or they may not be able to get into Tsinghua University. When they received the spoilers from the former homeroom teacher, teacher Wang, they were full of curiosity about this new teacher. When they wanted to ask more information, teacher Wang was like an old mischievous child who refused to tell the students in Class 3 of Grade 3. This also made them more curious about this new teacher. Chuchen has just completed the procedures for repeating his studies today, and he feels very lonely and sad because he was originally a high school student in the previous year. He also took the college entrance examination in the previous year. Originally, although he worked hard and diligently in his studies at Number 2 Middle School, he was not good at learning methods and always failed to achieve good grades. Even in the school that was originally considered poor, it could only rank above average. His ranking in the city is nothing, and he is even less impressive among candidates nationwide. Chuchen originally intended to directly pursue a vocational college or follow his classmates who had previously gone out to work in the village to find a factory and earn some money, in order to reduce the burden on his already affluent family. Chuchen's father, however, did not agree with Chuchen's ideas. He wanted his children to no longer be able to do the arduous and tiring farming work in the countryside like he did. No matter how hard it is, we cannot educate our children. As long as your children want to go to school, even if I smash the pot and sell iron to borrow money, I will still provide for your education. At the beginning, Chuchen only felt that the life in his third year of high school was too tight and tiring. He didn't agree with his father's advice to repeat a year. Having just experienced a year of high school seniority, Chuchen knows that the tension of life this year, as well as the dual pressure on people's physical and mental health, is really dragging them down. The final life of the third year of high school is to constantly brush papers every day. Whether to brush papers or not, it's either to recognize mistakes, do them, correct them again, 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 correct them again. Life is always full of ups and downs. I can't finish my exams every day, I can't finish my teacher's mistakes, and I don't have enough time to rest. Chuchen felt tired of this kind of life and felt a headache when he thought about the experience at that time. He didn't even consider the repetition mentioned by his father. When he first started at school, he mentioned repeating classes while chatting with friends, and even swore that even dogs would not repeat classes in the future. No matter how I do in the exam, I will never go to high school again and never repeat it. The final score came down, just over 400. The admission score for undergraduate programs this year is over 450 points. If you want to get into an ordinary second-tier university, you need to score 500 points so that you can have the confidence to get into an ordinary second-tier university. When filling out his application, he applied to a vocational school in his own province, and then he abandoned himself and stayed at home playing with his phone day and night. A person is already decadent, feeling like there is nothing to do, just browsing novels and videos at home, lying in bed and playing, waiting for the arrival of college life. During the 3 months of vacation after the college entrance examination, he originally started enrolling in a driving school, but he felt that the summer weather was too hot, and the coach practiced together with 3 or 4 people every day, with 3 people practicing for an hour each. The daily practice time was still short. The most important thing is that Chuchen has to stay up late every night. I never slept before 12 o'clock, and the next day I lost my energy. He always slacks off until the end of the last vacation, which means he passed the first level of the subject, and the other 3 subjects are not involved at all. When school was about to start, he was still immersed in his own world and couldn't extricate himself. Chuchen couldn't breathe under the pressure of the college entrance examination and the strange gazes from the village and relatives. He can only escape the scrutiny of his parents and relatives who see that he did not get into undergraduate school by immersing himself in the world of mobile phones and giving up on himself. Chuchen was originally a person who paid special attention to face and was cowardly. A failure in the college entrance examination made him deeply despair. He had considered taking the college entrance examination again, but when he thought about the different opinions he had when he was in the same grade with his former junior and others, he lost the confidence to continue his studies. As time passed, Chuchen played with his phone all day during this holiday, and he played for the whole day. Novels and games have become the main theme of Chuchen's entire vacation. Every day, from the moment he opens his eyes, he finds his phone under his pillow and starts reading novels. If it weren't for his mother calling him to eat at noon, he wouldn't even know how to wake up and eat. After finishing his meal, he ignored his mother's request for him to work and rode his bike straight away to another residence in his own home, playing with his phone non-stop for a moment. Throughout the holiday, Chuchen not only used his phone to read novels, but also listened to novels with Bluetooth earphones connected to his phone. Several times, Lee's mother scolded him fiercely, but he never regretted it. Chuchen, like a fool, has been immersed in the virtual world of his phone, ignoring everything in real life. The plan for how to spend the vacation plan before the college entrance examination has not been realized by myself. Until a few days before the start of school, he started packing his luggage and preparing to take the bus to school. Father Lee once again mentioned the matter of rereading. 2 days before the start of school, Li's father called his son who was still sleeping soundly in another yard. Li Chuchen answered the phone in a daze in his sleep, and his father's voice reached Li Chuchen's ear through the receiver. Chuchen, ah. Your uncle called me today and said, the school you are currently enrolled in is a technical school. Why didn't you explain that to me at that time? Upon hearing this, Li Chuchen retorted, Dad, I told you earlier that this is a vocational school. Moreover, my score is not even enough to apply to undergraduate schools that exceed the cutoff line. I can only apply to these vocational schools. And Dad, you don't even understand these things, so don't meddle in them. There was a moment of silence on the other end of the phone, and after several seconds, Li's father's previously low-breath voice weakened a bit, as if he had aged many years. Li Chuchen didn't notice the change in his father's tone and only heard his father say, okay. Your uncle said you should repeat your studies for another year. Work hard to get into a good undergraduate school the next year. Look at your uncle, he graduated from a vocational school, but look at what he's doing now. Carrying a big bag. That job is tiring and doesn't earn money. On the other end of the phone, Li's father's voice became increasingly excited, vividly portraying the pure fatherly love of hating him for not fighting and hoping for his son to become a dragon and his daughter to become a phoenix. Finally, Li's father's voice felt as if he had lost all his strength, lamenting and powerless. Early morning, my father has always had high expectations for you since I was young. I feel that your brain is not inferior to others. When you were young, others attended good schools. Although our family was not wealthy, I still sent you to that school because of our parents' hope of giving you the best. Now that you have grown up, you should consider your own future. We hope that you can get into undergraduate university and become a civil servant or anything else, so that you will have a relaxed life. Unlike your parents and me, who have put in a lifetime of effort and haven't earned much money. Li's father's leisurely voice gently reached Li Chuchen's ears. Li Chuchen didn't know how she felt when she heard about her father, but she felt like she was flipping the ocean in her mind and didn't know what she was thinking. It feels like a paste. Li Chuchen fell silent upon hearing his father's words, and finally gritted his teeth and made up his mind to say, Dad, I want to go back to school for a year. I will definitely be admitted to a good university next year. Li Chuchen didn't know why he said he wanted to repeat his studies, maybe because school was about to start and he didn't want to go to a vocational school anymore. He felt embarrassed. I want my father to inquire about the school where I will be repeating my studies, so I can have some more fun in the next few days. It's really a heart-washing revolution. He wants to take the exam for a good school the next year, but in fact, at this time, his own heart is not clear. Okay, I'll ask your uncle now to see where he can retake the student. Father Li said in a worried and anxious voice. Li's father didn't know what Li Chuchen was thinking just now, but upon hearing the news that Li Chuchen was going to retake his studies, he was so excited that he didn't say anything and directly promised him to go to a retake school. But by the end of August, the enrollment of repeat schools had already mostly ended, and now the college enrollment season had begun. If he wants to repeat at this time, he can only say it's not easy to handle. On this day, Li's father was busy from morning till night, and the phone never stopped. One by one, they made phone calls inquiring about repeating schools. Li Chuchen spent the whole day by his father's side, watching him inquire about repeating his studies. During this time, he didn't play with his phone once, which may be the longest time he hasn't played with his phone during this holiday. Li Chuchen looked at his father's subdued demeanor every time he made a phone call, as well as his previously shiny black hair now shining with silver. Li Chuchen felt a slight redness in his eyes and a slight sourness in his nose. He quickly and gently wiped away the tears from the corners of his eyes with his hand, as if afraid of being discovered by others. Li Chuchen secretly glanced at his father who was on the phone, feeling guilty. He saw his father smiling and quickly thanking him on the other side of the phone. After my father hung up the phone, he smiled and told me the good news, and I jumped up with joy upon hearing it. A comrade in arms of my father's friend worked as a teacher at No. 1 middle school. My father sacrificed his face and begged him, which allowed me to go to number 1 middle school and study with fresh students for a year. These things were only learned from Chuchen's mother after he achieved some success. My father asked my mother to pack up my things quickly and send me to school for class tomorrow morning. The third year of high school has already started for some time, and if we delay for a little longer, we may not be able to keep up with the courses. After all, as the best high school in the city, the admission rate to university is still ranked first. I quickly picked up my backpack and packed the books I needed at school. Chuchen saw the smile on his parents' faces that had disappeared after checking their grades during the holiday, the increasing amount of white hair and wrinkles on the second old man's head, and their disappointment with this exam. Chuchen silently swore in his heart that he must win this time, and I will definitely win. Chapter 2. Nightmare-like memories. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 3. Reading High School 3 again and meeting a beautiful teacher for the first time. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 4. Stepping into a new class and embarking on a new life. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 5. I don't know where to start. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 6. Dormitory meeting. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 7. Sitting with the school flower. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 8. Conflict. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 9. Model entrance examination. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 10. Exam troubles, 1. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text.